Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. If you have a block, have that nearby. If you like padding for your knees when you're on hands and knees positions in low lunge, have blanket, pillow, whatever you need. And we'll go ahead and start on our backs. So go ahead and recline as if you're coming right into Shavasana to begin your practice. And I've really been enjoying starting my own practice this way. And you start by being soft and feeling the floor underneath you, really anchoring into that support. Nice. And if you're feeling energetically sleepy or sluggish, you might keep your eyes open. Sometimes before we've moved, if you're already feeling a little sleepy in the morning, closing your eyes isn't really the go-to. So maybe keeping the eyes open, settling to one point. And then as you start to soften and feel the support of the floor underneath you, really broaden and open your heart space and broaden and open your belly, your core space as you feel the back body into the floor. And then we'll start to ignite our Shavasana pose. So begin at the feet. You're just going to turn your toes so they're all pointing straight towards the sky, a drawing back of the toes in towards the shins, and a pressing down of the heels into the floor. So starting there, work your way up the legs, pressing into the lower legs, maybe the backs of the legs, the backs of the hips, and then feeling low ribs, pressing down shoulder blades, a gentle pressing the backs of your palms into the earth as well, and a gentle pressing of the back of the head too. So if you tend to overdo, notice if you're really straining to press into the floor, it's a gentle pressing to ignite and to feel your whole body start to awaken. And then we're going to bring awareness to our breath in a certain way, in a certain area of our body. I'm going to focus some energy into the navel center. This is the area of the third chakra. If you have any interest in the chakra system, this is the area of inner fire, of your willpower, of your assertiveness. So this is the power center. So as you draw your navel down towards your low spine, you might even feel your low spine connect with the floor. We're going to take a few breaths into this area to start to fuel into the fire. So we'll inhale through the nostrils, open the mouth, forcefully exhale as you draw the navel center down. Inhale through the nose, soften the belly, fill with air, and then draw navel center down, open the mouth. Nice, two more like that. Inhale, soften. Exhale, forcefully engage and let go. One more time, your way. Nice, keeping energy into the body. We're going to point the toes this time. Keep pressing the heels down. Let's reach the arms overhead, fingers on the floor above the head. As you reach fingers away from toes. So full body wake up stretch. And then the next inhale, draw the knees in, wrap your hands around the knees, around the shins, maybe picking up the head, drawing chin in towards chest, so wrapping into a little ball. Flex your toes, so draw your toes back to your shins. And then next exhale, lengthen out, point the toes, broadening energy through your full body, arms overhead. And then back to that little ball. Just a few like this. If you're not picking up the head and shoulders yet, you might start to add that in. Let the inhale and exhale ride you through these motions. If the concentrating on the breath is too much with the movement, just allow the breath to keep flowing. Do one more round, lengthening out. And draw the knees in. Keep the head and shoulders on the ground this time. Hands wrap around the knees. Just give some little rolls of the knees, some circles, or a little roll of the hips side to side. Feeling the support underneath you. Nice. And then we'll lengthen the legs long towards the sky, flexing the toes back. So long, straight legs. If it feels like there's resistance in the back body or hamstrings, feel free to bend the knees and tabletop. So either straight legs or tabletop. We'll bring the hands behind the head. Instead of clasping, Let's just bring the fingertips so they touch. And then from here, broaden the elbows in towards the earth. So you're really opening the front body, engaging back body. And then we'll round and curl up. Allow the head to be heavy in the hands. As you draw the elbows in towards center, we'll pause here. Tugging the chin, draw the navel center down. And then open it back up. Release head and shoulders to the earth. Feel the support soften. Big breath into the belly. And then as you exhale, navel center draws down, round and curl. We'll pause for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, find release, find softening. And we'll do one more. Round it up, pause and hold. Sometimes the holding instead of pulsing or moving can create a little bit more belly engagement. Lowering it on down to the earth. Nice. From here, draw the knees back in. We'll rock side to side. And then we're going to rock and roll along the length of the spine. So we can come up through to a seat. Nice. From here, we're going to keep the left knee drawn and lengthen the right leg out. Wrap the hands around the left shin. You can choose to float that left foot off the ground, draw the toes in, or heel can be grounded. So this is the softest variation of a half boat pose, or you might hover the left foot and hover the right leg. So we'll pause wherever you arrive. If you want a little bit more fire, you can release the hands and reach forward. Keep the spine nice and lifted, the heart space really open. Nice, and we're going to switch sides. If you don't have the hands, you can just switch. Otherwise, you can anchor the feet and come back to drawing the right shin, right knee in with the right hands, or with both hands. Just pausing, breathing, allowing yourself to be in this fiery stillness. And we'll just move side to side. Take an inhale. Exhale, transition. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Nice and slow. So if you're riding this invisible push bike, one more time each side, balancing out. And then bending both knees. We'll bring the heels down, bring the knees together, wrap your hands around, bow in, so tuck your chin. A little seated embryo pose. We'll also be playing today during class with opening and expanding and then curling and surrendering into self. So this is the surrender. And sometimes when life is challenging, we freeze. Our nervous system is a surrendering type motion, and we freeze and want to curl into a little ball. And other times when we meet challenge, we want to fight or run. Those are the three responses. So noticing what's your go-to. Nice. Lengthen the legs out. Along the floor, draw the toes back. Point the toes, bring the hands back behind. Lengthen up to begin, and then start to open the front body. So draw the shoulder blades together, maybe dropping the head. Feel the front of the chest, the low ribs, and even the belly opening. Nice. As you draw yourself back upright, draw the toes back towards the shins, and we're going to round. Normally I say long spine, fold forward, just a little cat spine, drawing the hands to the floor, a little tuck of the chin. So that bowing in towards self. The surrender, sometimes the freeze. And then inhale, we'll come back through the opposite of that pose. The open exposing of the heart space and belly. If you want a little bit more fire, you're welcome to lift the hips, point the toes, lengthen the legs forward for that inverted plank. And we'll just do one more round of each. So rounding, curling in. Draw the toes back so your legs are really engaged. A tuck of the chin so you're lengthening the back of the neck. And then coming back upright, opening belly and heart. So hips stay grounded, legs are long, or somewhere in the middle, you might bend the knees, take that inverted table. So 3 different options for this posture. Notice if there's strain anywhere. And if the hips are hovering, setting the hips back to the floor. We'll just cross the legs so we can rock over to hands and knees. Set the knees right underneath hips, hands under shoulders. We're going to do some variations of cat-cow. So for this cat-cow, we're going to inhale, draw the belly open, the chest open as we rock tail up, drawing the head up. And then exhale, round into that cat. So we'll just do a couple right in the center. And then we're going to add on a little bit. So follow your breath. Inhale, expose belly, heart. Exhale, expose back body. One more just through center. And through that neutral tabletop spine, let's tuck the toes so the feet are spreading and lengthening and the legs are engaged here. And then we'll inhale. We're going to draw the heart a little bit in front of the hands and shoulders. So you're reaching through a little bit more. And then as you round into that cat, you're going to shift the hips back into a little, not all the way to child's, but halfway between child and cat. So just move here, allowing the inhale to send your heart a little more forward. Being mindful of the low back. If it feels tweaky in the low back, don't go as far. From navel center and chin in as you rock back into that cat-child pose. Just a couple more rounds, finding your way here. Nice. Breathing, moving, feeling. And the next time you come through that cat shape, untuck the toes. Come onto the tops of your feet and sink the hips back towards the knees. Release the forehead, sweep your hands back alongside, or you might wrap your hands and tuck them underneath your inner feet. So a little rock side to side. So we're in this embryo pose, letting the forehead rock side to side on the floor, hips back and forth. Allowing this rocking to help soothe the nervous system. Just like we rock infants and babies, the adult body also becomes soothed with this rocking motion. And then coming through stillness in the center, bringing the hands back out in front. We'll reach forward, press into the hands, lift the hips, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. So starting to get into lengthening our back, body. You might shimmy out the hips side to side, bend one knee, drop the opposite heel. Nice, and then come into stillness in this downward facing dog shape. Nice, anchoring in. If downward facing dog's too much, you're welcome to take a half dog, releasing the knees below the hips and reaching the hands forward. So it's a little different than a child's, but a half dog can lengthen that upper body and arms and start to ignite in the shoulder girdle. Nice, from that half or full dog, you're gonna lift the right leg back and sweep it up to a runner's lunge. Have a block or blocks handy. For this one, we'll just bring a little bit of fire to that back leg to start. So let's lift that left heel up and then anchor the left heel towards the back edge of your mat. So just up, a slight drawing in and up of the pelvis and anchor it back. One more time, lift it up and anchor it back. Settle that left knee to the floor and bring your hands to block or blocks if it feels like your hands can't come to the floor. You can keep the back toes tucked, or for me, I get more sensation if I press the top of my left foot down. From here, we're gonna anchor into both, to everything that's on the floor, press down, and then inhale, start to bring the heart, head, and hands up. For this one, let's take really wide arms. So you're really broadening and opening, And it's almost like this power position in the arms, like, yeah, come on, bring it on. That's what we're trying to embody in this arm position. Nice. Press into the left knee. Draw navel center in here to support the low spine. And then we're gonna fold into half hanuman. So lengthening that right leg, draw the right toes back, bring hands to blocks or mat and draw in at the chin, releasing the front body towards that right leg. Couple of breaths here, and then we'll flow between those poses. If the flow isn't feeling like what you need this morning, you're welcome to pause and stay in one of the positions. So if you're flowing, go ahead and re-ground that front foot. Inhale, lift the head, heart and arms nice and wide. And then as you exhale, you'll come back through. Fold it forward. Inhale, breath. If it feels like too quick of a flow to follow the breath this way, find your own rhythm. Keep flowing the breath nice and steady, lengthening the inhale and the exhale. Nice, and then we'll all come back through a low lunge with hands to the floor. Nice, tuck the back toes, come back into that runner's lunge. Bring that left hand to block just so you're a little bit higher. It can be low, medium, or high height. Inhale, spin that right hand up. Gaze up. Let the gaze follow this right hand. As you exhale, bring the hand back down. Gaze down, rib cage, heart spin towards floor. Inhale, open, gaze follows. Exhale, woo, tippy, coming back there. One more time, open it up. And exhale back to center. Great, set the block off to the side, hands to the earth, step back in, downward dog. Little flow here. You're welcome to take the option of half dog and half plank, knees on the ground. Shifting forward into a high plank or dropping the knees for half. Coming back down dog. Couple rounds. Shifting into plank, feel low belly draw in and up. Back to dog. One more time, through that plank. And downward facing dog. This time, as you shift into plank, we'll all drop the knees so we can safely lower all the way to our belly. Pressing the tops of the feet to the mat, hands walk back. Inhale, head and heart lift. Exhale, turn the left cheek to the mat as you release to the earth. Inhale, head center, inhale up. Exhale, down, right cheek to the mat. Just find your way here. Inhaling, rising. Exhaling, releasing. And a little rotation in the neck. Next time the forehead comes down, let's tuck the toes. We're going to press back into that embryo pose. So knees are together, sweep the hands alongside, release the forehead to block or to mat and take a few breaths here. Feel your breath flowing. I'm just gonna go grab a hair tie. I don't have one, it's making me crazy. Staying in embryo, follow your breath. Nice, and the next inhale, lengthen the arms out in front, come into that downward facing dog, or knees can be to the floor for that half dog variation. Nice, from here, we'll lift and lengthen the left leg, step up for runner's lunge. Have the block or blocks handy. We'll lift the back heel, so right heel lifts up, we'll lift in the pelvis, and then sink that heel back. Feeling the hamstrings, the calves, the fronts of the legs, the quads, creating a little bit of heat and fire. One more time, lift it up, even draw the belly center in and up. And then anchoring back, soften that right knee to enough padding. Choose to keep the toes tucked or untuck the toes. Anchoring down into the feet, steadiness. Inhale, lift the head, heart, and arms up. Again, sometimes we reach straight up. Let's go a little broader with the arms, a little more reaching of the backs of the palms towards the back edge of your mat. Pausing here, so the low belly draws in and the spine lengthens. Press into the right shin. Nice, one more cycle of breath here, in and out. And then we'll bring the hands up and forward as we lengthen the left leg, draw the toes towards you. We'll pause for a few breaths before we begin the flow. So allowing this time for the body to kind of settle into each posture, to get to know how it is for you this morning before we bring that fluid movement in. Even here, a little tuck of the chin. Nice, and then we'll start to flow, or you're welcome to stay in this half Hanuman or stay in the low lunge. If you're flowing, re-anchor that front foot down. Inhale, get steadiness in the feet as you lift it up and open. Exhale, fold and lengthen. You're also welcome to hover the hands if you want a little bit more, reaching the fingertips back and up. Just flow a few rounds. I'll leave you to flow in your own way here. Settle into your own body, your own breath. Nice. The next time you come through that low lunge, we'll pause. Hands to the earth. Tuck the back toes so you're back to that runner's lunge. Right hand to block or mat. And from here, we'll open. So left fingertips are going to reach up. Gaze is going to look up. Rib basket, heart is spinning up. And then exhale, soften back to center. Inhale, open. Exhale, center. One more time. Nice, great. Once you reach back to center, we'll just step up, take a forward fold, top edge of your mat. Feet can be hip distance, or you can step the inner edges of the feet together. Option here to bend the elbows, bring the thumbs to the crease of the elbows, ragdoll your arms. You might sway side to side or bring some gentle twists into the spine. Make sure the arms, the head are released. If it feels like a lot, bend your knees to soften. And then come through center if you're moving. Find stillness. Keep your feet where they are, whether they're hip distance or big toes together. Then we'll unwind the hands, bring fingertips towards the floor, bend the knees. Inhale, reaching hands up into chair pose. Bring the fingertips behind the head. And exhale, round and curl in towards the knees. Inhale, open. Stay in the chair pose, just moving the upper body. Round and curl in. More time, open it up. Round and curl in. This time, start to straighten the legs as you rise all the way up. Reaching up. Hands alongside, mountain pose, top of your mat. Pressing into your feet. Once again, bring your hands a little farther out than you might normally. So bringing them into that Y shape or upside down Y shape. Allowing the front side of body to be really open and vulnerable. Knowing this is part of bringing power into your center, opening into vulnerability. Nice. From here, we will step the big toes together to touch. Bring the fingertips to touch behind the head. Draw the backs of the elbows towards the back edge of your mat, and a slight pressing of the back of the skull into hands. So you're anchoring back. You can keep the spine nice and neutral. If low back is healthy, you might give yourself a little back bend here, opening belly center a little more. Bend the knees as you come through center. Draw yourself into that chair. Elbows keep reaching back. Keep the knees bent. Rocking curl in. Inhale. Lift and open. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale. Lift and open. This time as you round and curl and straighten the legs, fold it forward. Halfway lift, inhale, tabling the spine. Exhale, release. From here, step the right foot back. Spin the back toes. You're going to come to warrior one. So heel to heel alignment, or a little wider if you know you have tension in the hips. Then the front knee, reach the hands up, and once again, we'll reach them a little wider into that Y shape. Settling in, so both feet will bring a little bit of power into the front leg as we lift that front heel and set it back down. Lift the front heel, set it down, lift it, anchor it. Stay here. From here, reach the hands back, open the front of the body, humble warrior. Fold it forward. You're welcome to float the hands or take a bind, clasping the hands or grasping opposite elbows. Keep the legs where they are. Keep steering the hips towards center. So left hip draws back, right hip forward. One more breath here. And then we'll flow. Inhale, reach it up, big and broad. Warrior one. Exhale, humble. Fold it in. You're welcome to hold a pose or flow. You're welcome to keep a bind the whole time and flow. So make this yours, noticing what you need. Noticing when you need fire and when you need a little bit more ease. Next time you rise into warrior one, we'll unbind if we're bound, straighten the front leg. This time reach the hands back. So arms go back, draw shoulder blades together, palms face the front edge of your mat. From here, let's connect with the back leg. Excuse me. Stay anchored in your front foot. Lift the back heel and hover and stay. So as you lift the back heel, feel this right hip draw forward. Feel the back of that left leg ignite, or right leg. Nice, and then anchor that back heel down. Press into the outer edge of the heel. Fold forward for a pyramid Parsvottanasana. Hands can float, you can bind. Hands can come to floor or block. Go for space. Along the spine. Space with breath. So any of these forward fold postures, there's a kind of a bowing in towards self that happens. Even though there might be a lot of intensity, a lot of lengthening and stretching happening, really kind of try to embody that bowing in, the release towards that deep center. Nice. If you're bound, hands come down, bend that front knee. Bring the hands to the earth and we'll step back, high plank, or choose to drop the knees. We're gonna hold here and play a little. So from here, if knees are to the earth, you're just gonna lift and lengthen one leg at a time, set it down. If legs are extended, you're gonna lift and hover one leg, set it down, lift and hover other. So making a choice, we'll just move side to side a few times. So during this time at home, I've been having a hard time getting my kids moving and moving their bodies. So we had a little plank sit up, run around the block, little competition yesterday. So I'm feeling it today a little bit in these planks. Nice, from here, we'll lower all the way to the mat. So through hands and knees or that high plank, come all the way down. Sweep the hands alongside, palms face down. Untuck the toes. Press the tops of the feet down. Lift the head, heart, keep the hands anchored. Draw shoulder blades together. So press into the floor as you lift and draw the front of the heart open. Exhale, release. Inhale, head, heart. This time lift the arms as well. Too much, bring the hands back down. Draw shoulder blades together. Really exposing the heart center. We'll gaze down so you're not straining the neck. Exhale, release. Take a full breath in and out. Good, heart, hands. Add the legs. Squeeze inner leg line together. So really squeeze the inner edges of your feet together. A little flex and spread of the toes. Feel belly center here. Draw the navel center in and up. One more full breath cycle in the Shalabhasana locust pose. And soften it down. Hands to the earth. Choose to shift back into that embryo or choose to take a down dog. So notice, do you want that rounding, curling, surrendering in? Or do you want a little bit more open, fiery, yang pose of down dog? Really honoring what your autonomic nervous system is telling you it wants, and also meeting what it might want or the habits that it holds with new movement, new breath. You're in that embryo, hands go forward, leading us down dog. Lifting the heels, stepping forward, top edge of the mat. You can jump. We'll lengthen once we arrive into that table. Exhale, round and curl. Nice, step the inner edges of the feet together, bend the knees. We'll keep the hands to the block this time. And from here, lengthen the legs, lift into a supported tabletop lift. Exhale, bend the knees, a little round and tuck in, chin toward knees. Inhale, lengthen it all up. Keep moving, 2 more rounds. Exhale, round, curl in, find support in the block. One more cycle through. Next time you bend the knees and tuck in, pause. And then we'll come all the way to standing, pressing into the feet as you unfurl. Hands reach up once you arrive, and then hands alongside. Taking a few breaths in that Tadasana mountain pose. You might even play with closing the eyes here. For this variation of mountain, we're going to stack the hands to our solar plexus, our third chakra area. So bring one palm just above the navel, and then bring the other palm on top. We'll do that same breathing we started with in lying Shavasana. Inhale, let the breath fill your belly through the nostrils. Forceful exhale, draw belly center in and up. Inhale, exhale. One more time, inhale, soften. Beautiful. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reach up, cactus your arms. Bring fingertips together, elbows go back, bend the knees, come into that chair pose with elbows reaching back. Exhale, draw and roll in. One more time, inhale, open into chair. Exhale, round and curl. Lengthen the legs, halfway lift, table your spine. Exhale, fold. Nice. From here, let's come all the way back up. Sweep the arms alongside, reaching arms back alongside. Left foot plant. Inhale, reach the right knee in and up. Reach the hands up. Fingertips meet at the back of the head. Come back through a supported warrior 3. Lift the back of the head up into hands. Step it back. Hands to the earth. Take a down dog. Nice, lift and lengthen left leg. Sweep it up, step forward. Nope, right leg. Right leg, step forward. Stand and plant the back foot. Reach up for warrior 1. Now I'm not sure. I feel like I forgot the other side. Now I'm like, are we on this side? Give me a sec here. We'll reach the hands down. Oh, it's so hard when I don't see the bodies in the room. From here, we'll fold into that humble warrior, bringing the heart down, floating the hands up. Pretty sure we forgot to do this sequence on the other side. Is that true? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Nice. Inhale, rise back into that warrior one. And humble. Again, you're welcome to pause in one of these poses. You're welcome to take a bind and hold a bind the whole time. Let yourself flow. Let yourself breathe and feel. Nice. Next time you rise up into warrior one, pause there. Straighten the front leg. Reach the palms towards the front of your mat. Fingertips down, draw shoulder blades together. Lift that back heel. Left heel lifts. Anchor it back down. Left heel lifts. Hold for 2 breaths. Anchoring the heel. Fold forward for pyramid Parsvottanasana. Taking your variation. Hands supported. Reverse namaste. Hands to legs. Once again, going for length of breath, of tissues. Lengthen the spine. Length between thoughts. Creating space. Nice. From here, if you're bound, unbind, bend that front leg. Bring the hands to the floor, and we'll step forward back to the top of our mat. Fold forward. Take a Padangusthasana. Hook these fingers to the inside of big toes. Press down into hands and feet. Draw the heart and chin in. If this hand position doesn't work, choose something different. Ragdoll arms or hands to block. You can put a deep bend in the knees if you're feeling like you want a little bit more of that embryo-like posture. Nice, and then we'll unhook the hands, bend the knees deeply, unfurl ourselves all the way back upright. Hands come alongside. Take a full breath cycle in and out. Nice. Bring the hands up, cactus the arms, bring the hands back behind you. Walk the big toes in together to touch. Bend the knees, come into that broad open chair pose. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, open the heart, stay deeply in your seat. Exhale, fold. This time as we open the heart, we're gonna press into the feet, lengthen the legs up, keep the hands where they are. Right foot standing, left knee draws in, supported warrior 3. Reach the left foot back. Press, gently press the back of the skull up into the hands. Then the standing knee, and we'll step back into a high crescent lunge. Reach and open, press the head back into the hands. You can always drop that back knee, taking another low lunge. Nice, reach the hands up. Bring the body to a diagonal to match your back leg. Again, this can be done from low lunge. Bring the hands into heart center, twisting high crescent lunge. Option to hook that left elbow on the outside of right knee. Lift the heart into hands, stay in prayer open. Option to come back to that twisting runners or twisting low. We'll hold for 3 more breath cycles. Track your breath, breathe into your belly center. Once you come to the bottom of your 3rd exhale, you're gonna unwind yourself, bring your hands to the floor. I'm gonna do a switch hop a couple times and then we'll end. So a switch hop, you're gonna get a little bounce and come into a low lunge or runner's lunge other side. Just move side to side a couple times. It might look graceful, it might not. It will warm you no matter what. Bring a little playfulness in. Next time the left foot lands, pause. Great. Inhale, lift it up. Bring fingertips back behind the head. Open the elbows back. Whew, let your breath settle. Reach the hands up. Bring the body to that diagonal line, hands to heart. Make your choice. Twisting, high crescent lunge, low lunge, or runners. If your hands are staying in prayer, lift your heart in towards your thumbs. Nice, unwind yourself. We'll step back into a down dog. Come to a forearm plank, so drop onto your forearms. Legs can stay long, knees lifted, or drop the knees for more ease. Press into your elbows, forearms, and hands. Try and keep your elbows stacking right under your shoulders for support. Nice, and then we'll lower the fronts of the hips down towards the floor, untucking the toes for Sphinx pose. So this is a deep back bend. Draw low belly in and up to support. If it feels like too much in the low back, walk the elbows forward and maybe a little wider. Notice in this pose, if the legs go slack, you just sort of let go of the legs, and you'll spin out, draw the inner feet together, press into the tops of your feet. So legs are engaged and fiery. One more breath here. And then exhale, let's release it down. Forehead, 2 stacked forearms or stacked hands, release it down. Let's do that belly breathing one more time. Inhale through the nose, soften the belly into the floor. As you exhale, draw navel center in a forceful exhale through the mouth. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Beautiful. Hands under shoulders. Let's press up and back, either a child's embryo or a down dog. Great. From down dog, we'll all meet there. From down dog, let's step that left foot back forward to the top edge of your mat. And then walk the hands towards the long edge of your mat. So we're in a wide leg forward fold. All 10 toes are pointing towards the long edge of your mat, and the outer edges of your feet are parallel with the ends of your mat. Great. From here, press into your feet, lift and engage your inner legs, and fold forward. You can walk the hands between the feet. You might grasp the outer ankles. Notice when it becomes too much, if it becomes too much, and back it off a little. You can be in that tabletop spine if that feels more nourishing to your practice this morning. Notice where the weight in your feet is. You're hanging back out, backing your heels. Maybe shift a little weight into the toe mounds. Great, and then from here, we'll all walk our hands under the shoulders. So we're in that tabletop lift. So we can lift the right heel, spin the toes out, lift the left, spin the left toes out, bend the knees. And then from here, hands come together. We'll rise up into this goddess pose. Draw the outer knees out. Nice. We're gonna flow. And then we have an option to stay in one of these postures as well. So let's get a little embodiment of the postures and then let your intuition guide you. So we'll lengthen the legs and reach the hands up in the 5-pointed star. So you're reaching the palms towards the long edge of your mat, pressing into your feet, engaging body here. So like a standing shavasana. Nice, and then bend the knees, draw the palms together, sinking into goddess. Option to bow here. You can bow down, tapping the fingertips towards the floor. Inhale back through goddess. Lengthen the legs, lengthen the arms, 5-pointed star. Just flow a few more times, make your way. Again, if one of these postures doesn't feel attainable, nourishing, skip it, do something different, make it work in your body. one more round here. Keep your flowing. Stay with your breath if you're holding a pose. And we'll all end in a 5-pointed star. There's no rush. Great, draw the hands in towards heart. We'll turn the left toes towards the front edge of our mat and spin your right foot into your warrior two position. Open the arms. Nice. From here, reach forward and then exalt your warrior. If you want more fire, keep the knee bent. Lift and lengthen that left arm up and back. If you don't need as much fire and want to break, straighten into an exalted triangle. Stay for one more breath. And then back to warrior two. Reach forward. Exalt. Rise through neutral spine. One more round. Reach forward. Lengthen that left side body as you reach up and back, straight or bend knee. Back to warrior two. Pause. Straighten the right. Turn the toes in. Turn the right toes the other way. Once again, set your foundation really intentionally. Soften that front knee into warrior two. Nice. Reach the right hand forward. Coming through exalted warrior or straighten the front knee if you need a break. Reach the fingertips up. Stay for just another breath. And then we'll begin that flow through warrior two. Reach forward. Exalted. Warrior two. Reach it forward. Exalted. Nice. Landing in that warrior two or meeting there if you're somewhere else. Straighten into that front leg. Beautiful. Spinning both toes back to the long edge of your mat. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up. Choose free arms or a bind. Hold it forward. Last wide leg forward, fold. Take what you need from this pose. If you're bound, go ahead and release the hands. We'll walk our hands back to the front of our mat, spinning into runners so we can step back, down dog. Lift and lengthen the right leg. And we're going to sweep it up for half pigeon. You know half pigeon doesn't work. Come to your back, take a window pose. So this half pigeon pose, setting yourself up. You can stay upright. You can fold forward. We'll just give a little visual for that window on your back. You're hooking the right ankle over the left, reaching through the window, making sure your head and shoulders are released to the floor. You want to keep the right toes active, whether you're in half pigeon or window on your back. Flexing the toes, drawing the toes back towards the shin. If you're in that window, you can draw the knee away from the face for a little bit more fire. Nice, we'll take one more breath cycle. So really full inhale into the belly through the nostrils. And a forceful exhale through the mouth. Draw navel center in. Beautiful. We'll walk back through. If you're on your back, you can release out. If you're in half pigeon, you can sweep back and take a little moment in three-legged to get some blood flow. And as you're ready, centering up, maybe drawing both knees in the back. And we'll step that left foot forward for half pigeon left side. You're doing window, hook the left outer ankle over the top of the right knee. And find your degree of softening to the floor and meeting sensation with breath. So softness doesn't relate to weakness. Sometimes it's the hardest thing we can do to soften into discomfort, to soften into the way things are. But we have to be connected into our power center, into our own willpower, our own assertiveness. Nice. Let the final breath be that navel center breath. Inhale through the nose, soften the belly. Exhale, forceful exhale through the mouth, draw navel center in. Nice. Walking our hands back through us. If you're in that half pigeon, sweep it back. If you're on your back, just unhook, draw your knees in. We're going to meet on our backs in just a moment. So those half pigeoners, stepping through, sweeping the legs around. We'll all recline to our backs. Let's bend the knees and bring the feet to the earth. Give a little lift of the hips, draw the tail away. And then as you set the hips back down, draw navel center in so your low back gets glued to the floor. Arms alongside. Nice. Inhale. You're going to do a couple flowing bridges. Inhale, lift the hips, reach the hands up overhead, reach them along the floor. And then exhale, round yourself back to the floor, arms follow. Nice. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise it up. Exhale, release. Nice, releasing to the floor. Let's step the feet out a little bit wider, and then windshield wiper the legs back and forth. Nice, coming through center. We'll take one supine twist. So draw and stack the knees in. We're going to go left, or if you would like to take a split leg, right knee draws in, left leg extends. There's lots of variation to this pose, so find your way. Both knees left or that right knee left. Let that leg anchor, either the inner right knee or the foot. If you're in split leg, make sure that that left heel is lining up with the sacrum. It's usually a little bit too far to the left, so drawing yourself under, drawing yourself into a line, then back of the head aligning as well. You can always support with block, blanket or pillow. If you need support to soften this pose, the gaze can look away from the bent knee or knees. Noticing, honoring any resistance you feel. Give a little more activation or a little bit more release. Sometimes what the body needs is activation to support. Sometimes it needs a softening and a release. Nice. One more inhale and exhale. And we'll draw ourselves back to our backs. Shimming the hips back to center if you move your hips. And we'll make our way to the other side. So either stack knees or split leg, left knee in, right leg long. And send those knees or knee towards the right. Spinning that left back of the shoulder blade towards the earth. It might be hovering, it might not. Aligning the right heel with the sacrum with the back of the head if you're split leg. You can play if you have the knees stacked, you might bring that left knee in a little bit more of an alignment with the right. So drawing that left femur bone a little longer, creating space in that top waistline. Gaze looks left if that feels comfortable in the neck. One more breath cycle. Let's draw ourselves back through center. Locate your block wherever it is. Mine's always too far away. From here, we're going to lift the hips. Bring the block underneath your hips on that lowest height, or medium if you're wanting a little bit more. The highest height is going to be a bit tippy. We're going to take an inversion pose here. So making sure the block isn't at the low back, it's below the hip crest, right on the tailbone. And then let the hips settle in to the block. And this might be where you stay. Hips are above the heart space. This is a supported bridge variation. If you want a little bit more, you can extend the legs long towards the sky for Viparita Karani, sometimes called waterfall, translated to inverted lake. So imagining your belly being an inverted lake. And I know for me, my belly actually isn't an inverted lake. But send your breath up and down into that belly center, giving life and energy into the solar plexus, into your power center. Again, if it feels like a lot to keep the legs straight, you're welcome to bend the knees. If shoulder stands in your practice, you can bring this into a shoulder stand. Notice it takes a certain energy to keep you here, but can you soften into the supportive floor and block? Keeping your breath flowing full and freely. Take one more breath cycle in and out. If your feet are off the ground, bending the knees, bringing them back. If you're in shoulder stand, rolling out. We'll lift the hips, set the block off to the side. And then we're going to lengthen back in and out into Shavasana. If it feels tweaking your low back to extend here, keep the knees bent, feet wide, wrap the inner knees together. Otherwise, coming all the way into a soft Shavasana. So for most of us, when we soften, our toes turn outward a little bit. Maybe the hands curl a little. And if it feels like you can stay awake, you can close your eyes here. If you're feeling tired or fatigued, you might keep your eyes open, sending them to a soft gaze on your ceiling. For me, it helps me notice my inward landscape a little bit more when I close my eyes. The world has a lot to offer, a lot of sensory input. So often if my eyes are open, I'm taking in my outer world. So this is the time to take in your inner world. We'll stay together here in Shavasana. If you'd like to stay longer, you can mute your device. Otherwise, soften in. Feel your breath, your body supported on the floor. To share a passage from the Wheels of Life, speaking to the third chakra zone. From a place of stillness, we call forth movement. Slowly reaching out, expanding, breathing, stretching, flowing. Into form, we evoke life. It's spark from the fire of the place between ourselves and others, between past and future, between the known and the unknown. From a place of infinite movement, we call on the self. We call on the self to awaken to another part of the journey. We call upon the self to awaken to the sun, the fire, the warmth, the transformation. We call upon the self through our will, and it rises to our call. As you start to come back into breath and body, let's stack our palms right above the navel center. So one palm And then the other, doesn't matter which goes first. And we'll reawaken the breath with 3 of those pranayama breaths. Inhale through the nose, soften the belly with breath. Open the mouth, forceful exhale, navel center draws down. 2 more. Releasing that pranayama work. You might start to move hands, fingers, legs. We'll come to a seat in the next few breaths, getting there in your own way. Once you arrive into that seat, let's bring our hands together in front of our heart center. Gentle close of the eyes, or again, the opportunity, a soft gaze to one point. Let's tuck the chin, breathing in, breathing out together. Next inhale, we come in through the nose. Namaste. Bowing in to self, to others. Nice. Yay. Ah, so good. So you're welcome to unmute yourself if you like, or if you got to rush out, that's cool too.